Three topics that for today. Number one, out of office, out of money. Number two, respond to fear with action. And number three, use your assets and liabilities. GrantCardone.com talking about the real estate or mindset of the using money, spend the time, spend your energy with something that you should do like this. Out of office, out of money. This something I so fired up about. I'm just got to take it up with you this week because it might be costing you money. Have you ever tried to connect with someone only to get one of those automatic out of office response? This drives me nuts. I'm always traveling somewhere out of office, whether it's business related or not, no matter where I may roam and for what purpose. I always make sure I always accessible and open for opportunity. Not doing this costs you money. I'm sure that many of you reading this right now have uses the out of office automated reply. Hi, I will be out of the office returning on the 23rd. I won't have access to email or phone traveling on vacation and out of the country. Have a great work, have a great week, and I will connect to you upon my return. It's crazy. No one should ever announce they are ever closest off to opportunities. They should be doing whatever it takes to be open for business no matter what. Look, I understand I'm a father and a husband, and there are plenty of time when I am 10x mode giving full attention on my family. However, business is still being handled. Tweets are coming, Facebook posts are going out, and calls, texts, and email are coming in. People who are trying to reach me have no idea that I am on the floor cuddling or playing with my young daughters or away with my wife. I'm still away connected. Look, I live in a 24/7 world. You can resist this reality or you want to join the rest of those seeking comfort. But then how will you ever achieve true freedom? Do you think the mega successful people like Mark Cuban, Sir Richard Branson, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, or Howard Schultz are announcing any breaks from the business action? No, they are in the game, baby. So even if you are going to be out of the office, always always be open for business, accessible and ready to do whatever it takes to satisfy customer, close deals, and connect with others. I know I'm going to get a lot of heat for this. Understand that I'm not telling you to neglect your health or your family and become some workaholic. I'm telling you to adopt a 10x whatever it takes mentality so that all areas of your life are operating at high levels simultaneously. Some tips. Number one, always be available for opportunity even when physically out of office. Number two, be sure colleagues or assistants are able to handle calls and relay messages, messages to you quickly. Number three, plan your day so you are able to check in and remain aware of what's going on. And number four, commit to saying yes, be open to every opportunity. You can always decide to pass after you have the facts. The next topic is respond to fear with action. Respond to fear with action. Are you scared yet? If you aren't, then you are in the minority. It's apparent to me that big media's goal is to terrify you until you don't want to leave your house. Think I am exaggerated, exaggerating. Well, before you condemned me, look around for the people who teach their kids not to talk to strangers, or say that if you don't get flu shots, you will get the flu, that if you don't go to college, you won't get a job, you won't get a great job, a good job, and that all that is bad. Fear is embedded into the fabric of our society, and is costing to you quality of life and your ability to expand. Today's popular fear story are Ebola and ISIS. When these stories want it will be something else. Fear is the tool used by big media. CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, blah blah blah, to introvert and pin you to your current location. Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook are then used as a dissemination feeds to spread the fear. They all participate in order to get your full attention. The bigger the story, the longer you focus on it. Successful people know these fear moments are opportunity to advance. When people are hit with fear, they tend to retreat and are concentrated by not taking action. In my book, The 10X Rule, Grant Cardone book, I make the claim that all your success is determined not not by intelligence, timing, management, or leadership, but by your ability to take massive, whatever it takes, level of action. Everyone is taking action, just not the right action. There are only four levels of action: do nothing, retreat, normal level, and massive. This week on Whatever It Takes Network, I share in my show The Cardon Zone that airline stocks would get hammered due to Ebola fears after 911 air travel was significantly changed, but I didn't end. Despite having to take off our shoe and go through new security processes, people still flew on airplanes. Maybe you will use fear to your advantage by investing in airline stocks once they give up all their gains. Or maybe you take this time to prospect, see client and increase the number see clients and increase the number of meeting via Skype or go to meeting. If you demand success, you must go out when it's scarce. Successful people do whatever it takes, no matter the risks. I am not talking about being careless or unethical. I am talking about being fearless. Fearless, you have a better chance of committing suicide than catching Ebola. Fear is the best used as an indicator of what to do. Go where author Go where authors refuse to go and do what they refuse to do until people admire you for it. Some success come to those who show courage in the marketplace despite the risks, the fear or the rejection, and do so repeatedly with whatever it takes energy level. Every day you are being poked on by TV, radio, social media, and even by your friends and family. This is why I created Whatever It Takes Network to provide you the contents for those who want to rise above the noise and do whatever it takes to create success for themselves, their family, and their business. You fear Ebola, you fear unwillingness to do whatever it takes a massive level. When it comes to fear, understand the following. Number one, doing nothing is an action. Doing nothing is an action. Okay. Number two, retreating is an action in reverse. Retreating is an action in reverse. Number three, average action is get you nothing. Average action is get you nothing. And number four, massive action is only action that pays. Okay. This week, close attention to there is fear. Where there is fear, there is opportunity for whatever it takes nation. And the last one would be use your assets and liabilities. Gradon, grandcardon.com. I recently interviewed Pechman Gardimi, an author and successful entrepreneur, on my new show Power Player airing on the new Whatever It Takes network. The interview with him reminded me of how much we take for granted in our lives. This guy escapes Iran as a kid, had everything going against him and every reason not to make it. He comes to America and creates successful for himself. He turned his liabilities into assets and used his obstacle to propel him forward in his life. If you own or operate a business, you have a balance sheet that includes a complete list of assets and liabilities. Most people don't have a balance sheet for their personal lives and should. It would include honest inventory for of your assets and liabilities. Then it need to be updated constantly because it change. Early on in my life, my balance sheet was full of liabilities. Later in my life, those liabilities actually become assets for me. As a young man, I had what appeared to be a number of bad breaks. I lost my father when I was 10. Grant Cardone was the outcast throughout most of high school. Lost an older brother when I was 20. Was almost cured at 23 and suffered from the terrible drug problem for 10 years. Though that time in my life I was a liability to my family, friend, and employer and myself. Even when I started to turn it around, I was still very unhappy, like I had a hole inside of me. Friends suggested therapy workshop, whereby started an introspective search for the cause of the hole and unhappiness. I found myself hooked on finding out who was to blame for my problem and ended up in 15 years of introspection. Then one day I realized that the people doing all this therapy were actually not getting better, they were getting worse. They talked about being happy but were not. They focuses on what was done to them rather than what they could do to be more productive. Many of them were broke, addicted, depressed, and spending time talking about how their parents failed them. I had this epiphany. What if all the bad things were actually assets, not liabilities? What if everything that happened to us actually contributed to who we become? Immediately, I realized that I was unhappy because I wasn't living up to my potential and my purpose. It had nothing to do with my past at all. Looking at my own life now, I see that even the worst things that happened to me proved to be great resources for whatever success I am experiencing today. For instance, I was born an identical twin and we were constantly compared to one another. The people who met us always asked us who was smarter, taller, or stronger. You know how demanding, how demeaning, and humiliating that is to an 8 years old trying to be an individual. This probably fluid my first business of creating a unique selling system rather than just copying what other people had done. My dad's passing was very painful and grief provoking, yet I am certain it contributed to my self reliance, knowing there was no one there to pave the way for me. I was not well liked in high school, beaten up at least once a week, probably because I had a big mouth at 23. I was beaten up so bad I almost died. I survived and today get paid to say what I want, how I want, and as often as I want, knowing I don't need everyone to like me. I will survive criticism, haters, and even physical attacks. I have a motto today that I try to live by. Nothing bad happens to me. It happens because of me, and when bad things happen, use them. Regardless of how negative the experience, figure out how to take responsibility for it, then use it to make you faster, smarter, and stronger. Let's face it, life comes with painful experiences. You will either figure out how to use those experiences to fuel your life to another level, or spend the rest of your life stopped by the experience. I challenge you to make a list of all the bad things that have either happened to you in your life or may be happening to you right now. Write down how they can actually become assets, not liabilities. If you are as committed to create a successful life as I am, then you have to be willing to do whatever it takes. These are not just three words tied together. Whatever it takes means doing whether it takes, going through whether it takes, the ugly and the impossible, and then figuring out how to succeed anyway. I'm telling my daughters life isn't fair, life is bad for too many, good for a lot, and greater and great for a few. Which do you want? Everything that happens in your life will contribute to whatever you like is bad, good, or great. You have abilities, you know what they are, and then turn it into your assets. Nothing else may be great. This is all from Rich Matter Podcast today. You can leave your comment or any suggestion with my video. Thank you so much.